because the transparency is the problem here. For hours after the match, everybody is surmising on what happened, when actually we would know if we could hear what was going on. When in fact, if it is public to everybody, everybody knows, and we know whose fault it was. I think that, and that's what's leading to all of these mistakes.
It has to be definitive, doesn't it? This was brought in to make a definitive decision, to avoid any...
Football has never been an exact science, ever.
No.
I've had handball decisions given against their team by referees. Another referee will say, no, it's not handball. Yeah, and you simply do not know from 1 week to the next what an official is going to give. And the problem with VAR is that all it's done, we keep saying referees need help, but all VAR has done has given another level of inefficiency and unaccountability as far as referees.
The solution to scrap VAR?
I don't think that's going to happen. I think what's probably a more realistic solution right now is, as Darren has suggested, you've got to make it as transparent as possible, which means, I suppose, a little like rugby, being able to hear what's actually being said. Because, well, if there's any ambiguity, or if there's even these long periods of silence, what happens is that gives ground to conspiracy theories. Now, I'm not saying there's any validity in conspiracy theories, but when that starts to become part of the discussion, even if it's on social media, say, that kind of poisons trust in the system.
Arsenal were left furious and heartbroken after a dramatic and deeply controversial Cup final defeat to Manchester City, as another VAR decision stole the spotlight and, arguably, the trophy itself. In a match that promised high-quality football and delivered in intensity, it was a single moment of officiating that will dominate headlines, debates, and fan outrage for days to come. The game started at a blistering pace, with both sides asserting their dominance early. Arsenal, under Mikel Arteta, looked sharp, purposeful, and determined to end their recent run of heartbreak in major finals. Their pressing was aggressive, their passing crisp, and their attacking trio caused constant problems for City's defence. Manchester City, as expected under Pep Guardiola, controlled possession for large spells, patiently probing for openings while relying on their technical superiority to dictate the tempo. Despite City's control, Arsenal carved out the clearer chances in the first half. A series of dangerous runs and near misses had the Gunners faithful on the edge of their seats. Bukayo Saka was particularly electric, repeatedly driving at defenders and creating opportunities that deserved a breakthrough. Yet, as has often been the case in high-stakes matches, the finishing touch eluded them, and the first half ended goalless. The second half brought even more drama. Manchester City began to grow into the game, with Kevin De Bruyne orchestrating attacks and Erling Haaland lurking dangerously in the box. The breakthrough eventually came, with City capitalising on a defensive lapse to take a crucial lead. Arsenal, however, refused to crumble. They responded with urgency, pushing forward in waves and pinning City back in their own half. Then came the moment that will be replayed endlessly. With Arsenal pressing for an equalizer, a clear challenge inside the penalty area saw an Arsenal attacker brought down under what appeared to be significant contact. The referee waved play on initially, but all eyes turned to VAR. Fans expected justice, a lifeline, a chance for Arsenal to get back into the game from a spot. After a lengthy review, VAR upheld the on-field decision, denying Arsenal what looked like a stonewall penalty. The stadium erupted, not in celebration, but in outrage. Arsenal players surrounded the referee. Arteta was visibly furious on the touchline, and replays only intensified the controversy. The denial seemed to knock the wind out of Arsenal's sails. While they continued to push forward, the psychological blow was evident. Manchester City regained composure, slowed the game down, and managed the closing stages with the experience of serial winners. Arsenal's late efforts lacked the same sharpness and belief, and the final whistle confirmed their worst fears. Defeat in a cup final is always painful, but this felt different. This felt unjust. For Arsenal supporters, this is not an isolated incident but part of a growing frustration with VAR and its inconsistent application. Week after week, decisions seem to vary wildly, leaving fans confused and questioning the integrity of the system. In a game where margins are so fine, such errors, or perceived errors, can define seasons. Mikel Arteta, in his post-match reaction, struggled to hide his anger, calling for greater accountability and transparency in officiating. While careful not to cross disciplinary lines, his message was clear: Arsenal deserved better. For Manchester City, the victory adds another trophy to their growing collection, but even some of their supporters acknowledge the controversy surrounding the result. While they executed their game plan effectively, the shadow of the VAR decision lingers over what should have been a straightforward celebration. In the end, football once again finds itself grappling with the role of technology in the modern game. VAR was introduced to eliminate clear and obvious errors, yet moments like this raise serious questions about its effectiveness. Instead of removing controversy, it seems only to have reshaped it. For Arsenal, the pain will linger. A trophy lost, a moment denied, and a sense that the game slipped away not just through football, but through a decision that will be debated long after the final whistle.